What is up? Coach Emma here, and welcome back to the Fit Habit Life podcast, where we cut through the noise, talk real health and fitness, sustainable fat loss, and habits that actually work. And today on the episode, I'll be talking about why right now is the absolute worst time for you to go into a fat loss phase. But before we dig in, just wanted to thank you for listening, tuning in. If you are subscribed to the show, I appreciate that as well. And if you've been resonating with what I've been talking about, if what I've been talking about has been helping you, if you could share this show to friends and family members who you think it would benefit, that would really help me. That would support me, help me get in front of more people to help more people debunk a bunch of the crap that's out there, which is really my goal with this show is to provide real, actual, actionable advice for your health and fitness journey. So yeah. But before we dig in, if you're tuning in on YouTube, you see I'm dressed kind of fancy today. I'm going golfing later. So yeah, put on a collared shirt. Actually, it's a Fit Habit coaching collared shirt, always advertising. So funny enough about golf, I thought it was the most boringest sport and lamest sport ever, and then I actually tried it. And it's super fun. I'd say it's much more of a skill-based sport versus athletic-based sport. I feel like most people can learn it, but to be really good, you have to have that skill and practice. You don't necessarily have to be super fit or athletic. So that's why I always kind of made fun of golf. It's like a lot of old people did it. But I understand now. It's super fun. So I've been learning golf. But anyway, that's a bit of a tangent. But really what I wanted to talk about today was why right now is the worst time to go into a fat loss phase. Because I feel like this is really common. And well, I'm recording now on November 2nd. So we've hit November, Halloween's done. People might have overindulged during the holidays, snacking on their kids' candies, maybe snacking on the leftovers if you didn't get a lot of trick-or-treaters, or just in general, during this holiday season, there's a lot of parties and gatherings that people tend to overindulge on. And so people will think, yes, I need to restrict and not eat anything for a week and do more cardio to burn off all that crap. 1, you don't have to do that. 2, don't do that because that builds an unhealthy relationship with exercise. But going into a cut right now is not going to serve you anyway. Even if you didn't overindulge, even if you don't feel bad about how your Halloween weekend went or your Halloween week or whatever other stuff's been going on, it's really not a good time to try to restrict calories. Because during the holiday season, there's a lot of parties, there's a lot of gatherings. One of the biggest holidays, Thanksgiving during this time, is about eating food with people. And so imagine you're going to Thanksgiving with your Tupperware of prepped food to make sure you hit your calorie and macro targets. That sounds terrible. Really. And your health and fitness, most people, I'm not coaching bodybuilders or elite athletes, right? So it's you're coming to me just for overall quality of life and health. And yeah, fat loss, you want to look better in your clothes, feel better, feel more confident. But the whole purpose of that is so you can show up for your loved ones, family members, just have a more enjoyable life. And if you're not allowing yourself to participate in gatherings with friends, family members, and loved ones because you're on a diet, then what's the point? The whole purpose of having these health and fitness habits are so that you can enjoy and be present and have those experiences with family members and loved ones. But if you're trying to be in a deficit or in a cut, you can manage it, but it just makes these seasons a lot less enjoyable. Because one of the biggest things that I recommend for people when they're on a fat loss phase is to not go out to eat very much, to control the food that you're eating as much as possible to make the fat loss phase as efficient as possible. And so, if it's the holiday season and you want to enjoy the holidays with family members and friends, then you being in a fat loss phase and either opting out of events so that you don't get tempted, or going to events and overindulging and feeling bad because you're in a fat loss phase and you're not sticking to your goals, both are going to be counterproductive to your overall health and quality of life. Which kind of leads me to the second point, is that if you are in a fat loss phase but you do decide to go to these events, it's going to be really hard to stick to your goals. Because imagine your mother-in-law, and my mother-in-law makes the best damn apple pie I've ever had in my entire life. Imagine your mother-in-law comes in with a homemade apple pie, and you're like, you want to eat it, but you've already hit your targets. Are you going to not eat it? I would eat it. I'd probably eat it, and then I'd probably feel bad the next day because I'm like, well, crap, I overindulged today, which is a whole nother thing. Like one meal, one day of overindulgence is not going to derail your whole progress. So don't worry about that. But that might get you into the mindset like you screwed up, you failed. What's the point? You might quit completely. So it just your mind itself is wrestling with things during this phase and during this time. And so do you want to make it easier on yourself? Just mentally, physiologically, health-wise? If so, then right now, probably the worst time to go into a fat loss phase. Because as I said, you're going to be tempted, or you're not going to experience life if you decide to not go to those events so you're not tempted to overindulge. So really, my favorite thing to do during this season is it's a muscle building phase, because there's going to be gatherings with really yummy food that tends to be higher in calories. And if you're trying to build muscle, you need to be eating in a slight surplus. So they just kind of go together like a lot better. Right? It's like you're going with the seasons instead of against them. Like, it's like I talk about all the time. If your overall metabolic health is not optimal, if you have digestive issues, if your lifestyle is not optimal, going into fat loss phase is going to be really difficult because we're not working with our bodies, we're working against them. This is kind of the same thing. You're not working with the seasons, you're working against the seasons. And the more friction you have towards a goal, the more difficult it is to accomplish that goal. The more hurdles you're going to have trying to accomplish that goal. And the more likely you are to either words are hard today. Mentally. So oftentimes what I've noticed is most of the people in the US, like everybody loses weight every year. Most people don't keep it off. One, because it's not sustainable. The way they're doing it's not sustainable. They're not addressing the root cause of the problem. Those are usually the two things. But also, of those people, a lot of people don't try again because they don't believe that they can. And so, if you want to be successful in this any fat loss phase and actually have it last forever, like last sustainably, the best way to do that is to, one, not be fighting against your body, but number two is not be fighting against the seasons. So trying to have the phases of health that you're in align with the seasons of life that you're in. So I'm not saying you can't go into a fat loss phase. What I've noticed personally, myself, like I've done this, it's made the holidays a lot more stressful, a lot less enjoyable. It made me more critical of myself, which negatively impacted my mental health, And the results I got weren't super great anyway. And because I was like, I can't eat these things, when I would eat them, I'd tend to eat more. And so I wasn't really going anywhere. I was miserable, not making progress, and I wished I hadn't done it. So now, during the winter, I do not go into a fat loss phase. Not winter, but holiday seasons. I don't do it. It's not fun. Right now I'm at maintenance. I might actually be in a slight surplus because the scale's kind of going up slowly over time. So I'm kind of in a mini bulk. By mini, I mean my calories aren't that much higher above my maintenance. But yeah, so TLDR, I don't recommend going to a fat loss phase during this season unless you don't have any friends or family members you like to celebrate with, don't like the holidays, don't like eating yummy food, don't like celebrating things. But the best time to go into a fat loss phase is one, if your body and your metabolism are functioning optimally, meaning your gut health is spot on, your lifestyle is dialed in, you're consistent with your training, your nutrition is pretty dialed in as well, and the season calls for it. That's when I'd recommend going into one. So again, less hurdles. That's the goal. We want to make fat loss as simple and easy as possible because at the end of the day, it's not a super fun phase of life. You shouldn't be in a fat loss phase most of the time. Really, it's probably about 3 months out of the entire year. Realistically, if you have a lot of weight to lose, that changes. But like myself, healthy body composition, I should not be in a fat loss phase longer than 12 weeks. Really, like most healthy people, that's going to cause longer than that could cause a lot of micronutrient deficiencies, chronic stress, just lack of enjoyment of life. So, and most of us here are doing things to support our life and make our quality of life better. So, don't go into a fat loss phase right now. Instead, sit at maintenance, focus on building those healthy habits, focus on having some 2 to 3 anchor habits that you can commit to doing every single day because that's going to support this season. And in the next episode, I'm going to actually talk about how to navigate the holidays in general. So definitely tune in for that one. And if you're wondering like where you should be starting right now, what you should be focusing on, I have a free metabolic quiz. So you can just click the link in the show notes to take that, and that'll give you some personalized, actionable advice on what you should be focusing on now to help your metabolism and help your quality of life in the long run so you can sustain those results. So anyway, if you got something out of this, please share the episode, like it, rate it, and subscribe. And I appreciate you if you made it this far. So anyway, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll chat with you later. Peace.